Good evening, folks. Thank you for being with us this evening. As you can tell, there's a lot of great energy in the Hyatt tonight. A warm welcome for all of you. I'm Jim Stergios, I'm the Executive Director of Pioneer Institute, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to Pioneer's 17th Annual Lovett C. Peters Lecture in Public Policy. Named in honor of our founder, Pete Peters, this is our way of expressing our gratitude to you, our core supporters. Thank you for your commitment to Pioneer's mission in Massachusetts and around the world. Around the country, not the world yet, all right? We express our gratitude with a feast of ideas in really good company, with celebration and recognition of an individual who has distinguished herself through her accomplishments and contributions to our society, Eva Moskowitz. We are so pleased to recognize you this year, Eva, as the 2014 Peters Lecture. Thank you for being with us tonight. Thank you for your incredible work, and we look forward to your remarks. To board directors, to our lead donors, thank you. Your leadership and your belief that ideas and innovation can and must drive government above and beyond special interests, that's what makes our work possible. To Dan Peters, to Binky Peters-Stevenson, thank you both. It's a special opportunity for us to be with you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your work around the country in driving scalable educational reform. Can I ask Pioneer staff just for a second to stand up for 1 second? Everybody's on staff, please stand up for a second. I really am honored to work with each and every one of you. Thank you. To those of you here for the first time, thanks for being with us. We really appreciate it. Pioneer is not a really hard concept to get. We're about greater freedom and greater prosperity for all Massachusetts residents. That's why our work focuses on only 4 things. We focus on education first and foremost. That's 50% of what we do. We focus on affordable, high-quality health care for all. We focus on effective government. A government can actually do stuff. And we focus on making sure there's a welcome mat for entrepreneurs and innovators. That's what will make Massachusetts great. In education, this is not the Pollock Bureau. You don't have to clap at everything, right? Relax, take it easy. Look, in education, the topic of tonight's conversation, the topic of most of our conversations, Pioneer is best known for getting charter schools passed into legislation, thereafter training some really wonderful charter entrepreneurs. Our focus on high-quality liberal arts in the classroom is also extremely important, as well as our focus on vocational technical schools. They need more good choices for parents. Our goal is simple. We want the best schools in the world, and I mean world in that case, not the country. We're already there. We've made progress. We're number 1 in the country. We're in the top 6 countries in math and science, according to 2 international tests. And we do get complaints from many quarters about the work that we do here at Pioneer, mainly from those who are satisfied with the status quo, folks who are big city superintendents, school committee members, and union leaders. They criticize us for being too eager for change, and on the other hand, they say, you guys are really conservative. I don't know how to make sense of those 2 statements. So let me go back to Pete Peters for a sec. When Pete was asked a question, are you a conservative? He would say with a mischievous smile on his face, I'm not conservative, I'm a radical. Well, it's not for nothing. The book that we did in 1992, which basically set out the blueprint for charter schools, the title is A Radical Plan for Boston. That is what we meant to do. His radicalism was essentially a belief that ideas debated freely will lead to really good outcomes. And that was why 26 years ago, when he started Pioneer, he hired 2 co-directors who were smart, young, and had really different ideas from him. One was a fiscal conservative and a social liberal named Charlie Baker, who is now the 73rd governor-elect of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. The other co-director, equally important in my mind, because I've seen all the documents, folks, was the incredibly thoughtful institution builder, Ginny Benson. That she cut her teeth as an urban policy aide in the Carter White House was no problem for him. He treasured her belief in ideas and the fact that she was committed to achieving social change. I'm 110% with Pete on this. Question for you. What are we trying to conserve in 2014? Are we seeking to conserve the monopoly status quo in our schools? Don't think so. Is the fact that Massachusetts residents actually enjoy less social mobility than Texas a point of pride that we want to protect? Is our runaway costs in healthcare something that we think we should conserve? The fact is, if we are patriots today, and by that I mean people who truly believe in this great American experiment, the intellectual work and the advocacy that we do has to go beyond holding on to things. We need to muster the same kind of brash rethinking that the patriots who helped found this country had. We've got some deep problems, folks. In education, let me ask you to consider one other thing. We should have hubris. We should have the hubris of aiming for world-class schools. We should not be satisfied when charter schools simply outperform a district school. That's not a high enough bar. We must want our kids to be capable of world-class academic work, and that means Pioneer needs to continue not only to work in Massachusetts and in Boston, but to work around the country in education, because a lot of the bad stuff that's coming policy-wise into the state is not from here in Massachusetts. These are larger national efforts. That's going to require a relentless focus, and that is why I personally am so excited to hear from Eva tonight. She is the poster child for relentless. She's one of a handful of education leaders thinking about what I would call the big ball game. And that's not getting up from here to here, it's from here to here. It's being able to compete with folks and create great citizens who are well-rounded. Now, I'll let you have dinner in a sec. As you can see on the tables, our new Chief Development Officer, Kat McCarran, and the new Development Committee Chair, Gary Kearney, on the board, have twisted my arm radically, making me put out pledge cards. So let's get Kat off to a great start. I like that. Listen, just after 8 o'clock, we'll have the honor of having Dan Peters step up to the podium and introduce our 2014 lecture. Thank you, Dan, for doing it. Before we enjoy good food and good company, please give your attention to Mike D'Angelo, the rector of Church of the Redeemer, a place that held a special place in Peter Ruth's heart. Thank you, Rector D'Angelo, for being here and providing grace.